On tonight's show, former President Joe Biden is diagnosed with cancer, record levels of air pollution in Chicago, fans flock to the Crosstown Classic, and Cowboy Carter comes to town.
This and more on tonight's episode of Chicago This Week.
Hello and welcome back to Chicago This Week. I'm Riley Cook.
And I'm Anthony Lowe.
We begin tonight with developing news involving former President Joe Biden, who was recently diagnosed with cancer. Our Alexia Kadota-Browner brings us the latest details and what this could mean moving forward.
Former President Joe Biden was diagnosed with prostate cancer, according to a statement from his personal office on Sunday. With a Gleason score of 9, it has spread to his bones.
It's on the more aggressive side, and without treatment, you would expect it to progress and cause harm to the patient.
The CDC reports that 13% of all men will have prostate cancer at some point in their lives.
Though all men are at risk for prostate cancer, the CDC says age is the most common risk factor. Although some medical experts are speculating Biden had the cancer while still in office, that information still remains unclear.
It's possible that the prostate cancer was there when he was in office. It's also possible that it developed afterwards. I don't think there's any way to know that. Even if I was his doctor, I don't think I could say that.
All over the country and here in Chicago, people are reacting to the news.
I feel badly for him. I think he was a good man, and I hope it's treatable successfully.
It was very sad, and I wish him well, and I hope he makes a full recovery.
I feel bad for him, and I feel bad for his family. I mean, human nature tells you to be that way, and that's how I feel.
It's arguably one of the worst things that can happen to any human being, regardless of the type of cancer, how serious it is. I mean, it's terrible. So regardless of your political views, you got to feel for the Biden family.
Biden posted on X saying, "We are strongest in the broken places," and thanked people for love and support.
As more information about his condition is released, many Americans are in support of Biden's fight against cancer. In Chicago, Alexia Kadota-Browner, Chicago This Week.
Thanks, Alexia. In the wake of Biden's cancer diagnosis, lawmakers in Chicago are introducing a new bill that aims to reduce the risk of cancer-causing chemicals. Our Grace Friedman reports from Springfield. Grace, tell us more.
Riley, lawmakers in Springfield are telling me that chemicals in firefighter equipment are causing an alarming rise in cancer cases. Take a look. A new bill in Springfield is taking aim at PFAS, toxic chemicals found in firefighter gear.
Little did we know that the bunker gear, the very gear that is supposed to protect us, to keep us safe, is actually killing us.
Largely due to PFAS exposure, firefighters face a 14% higher risk of dying from cancer.
While this is supposed to protect us, it's doing us serious harm. So that's the gist of the bill, and that's why we brought it forward.
The goal of the bill? Label PFAS by 2026. Ban it by 2027.
I got diagnosed 6 years ago with colon cancer. It's hardest on my wife and my 3 girls at home.
Tracy says he learned that colon cancer is one of the many illnesses that can be brought on by the forever chemical.
It's ridiculous. It's personal protective equipment. Well, it's not protecting very well if it's giving us cancer.
The bill passed out of both chambers committees unanimously and now awaits a final Senate vote before heading to the governor.
Thanks, Grace. A new report published by the American Lung Association shows air quality in Chicago is at an all-time low. Our Peggy Hellman headed downtown to learn more. Peggy, what are the potential health risks that come from this level of pollution?
Thanks, Riley. Experts I spoke with told me the levels of pollution in Chicago right now can cause respiratory distress and asthma, even in healthy people.
The skyline may look clear today, but that doesn't mean the air is clean. A new report from the American Lung Association gives Chicago failing grades for both ozone and particle pollution.
It can even be deadly for some people, even for healthy people.
The sources: a combination of vehicle traffic, industrial emissions, and increasingly climate change. The Illinois Environmental Council says outdated regulations and urban planning are making it worse.
When it comes to manufacturing districts, these diesel trucks that go in and out of communities can be really problematic.
The south and west corridors of Chicago see the biggest health impacts, areas already burdened by other systemic inequities.
25% of land in Latinx communities in the city are zoned for manufactured uses, and 23% of land in Chicago Black communities are zoned for manufacturing uses.
Advocates are pushing for stronger clean air policies, more green spaces, and better monitoring of pollution hotspots.
We advocate for zero emission vehicles. We really have to take bold action to curb the pollution from diesel trucks, other large vehicles, even passenger vehicles. Everyday vehicles need to be cleaner.
Experts say reducing emissions and investing in clean energy are key to protecting Chicagoans' health. But without swift action, the city's air and its future could stay hazy.
Thanks, Peggy. It's not just the air that lawmakers are looking to clean up. I headed to Springfield to learn more about a bill that may ban single-use plastics. Take a look.
Illinois lawmakers are debating a bill that would ban single-use plastics at some state stores.
It would target single-use items, things like these styrofoam to-go boxes that we use once and throw away. Supporters say cutting back on plastics and foam foodware could keep thousands of pounds of waste out of Chicago's waterways. It's exactly that impact that advocates like Margaret Frisbee work toward for a living.
In the olden days, the river was full of dumped garbage and old sofas and random suitcases. What we find now is 80% of what we pick up is plastic, and of that, 80% of that is actually food related. So that's like to-go food foam. And so those are the rules and regulations that we're really working to support.
The bill coincides with Chicago River Day, an annual cleanup that draws thousands of volunteers to sites across the river system.
We started with 25 volunteers at one location in 1992, and this year we have 92 locations, more than 2,700 volunteers.
So they can do that on the land and on the riverbank, and at some locations they can do it literally from the water. They'll be in canoes, picking up trash from Lake County to the Calumet and out to the southwest suburbs.
The goal, clearing litter, pulling invasive plants, and changing public perception, one piece of trash at a time.
The river used to have a really bad image problem. People were like, oh, it's nasty, it's polluted, and now they're realizing like, oh, the river is beautiful and it's alive and vibrant, and I want to help take care of it too.
The river was such an industrial backwater for years and years and years. And for lifelong Chicagoans, that's the way they thought of it. That's not the same today. Due to great investments and policy changes like the Clean Water Act.
While cleanup events like these do make a difference, advocates stress that long-term change really hinges on what happens in the building behind me.
Now we work with members of Congress and, the state officials, but the heart of the organization is really the people who live here and help us. So we always want to keep touch with the grassroots individuals at the same time that we're, in the marts of commerce in the halls of Washington, D.C.
Next, a new ordinance that addresses recent violent gatherings in Streeterville. Our Abby Feldman headed there and brings us this report.
In response to recent incidents involving large groups of teens congregating downtown in Streeterville, with some escalating into violence, Alderman Brian Hopkins proposed a snap curfew ordinance. The measure would allow the Chicago police to impose a 3-hour curfew with 30-minute notice when a mass gathering is anticipated. Streeterville resident Sohail Khan says he's noticed the growing tension.
Yeah, I think it's scary. Definitely hear about it a lot.
But he's not convinced the curfew is the right response.
I get the intent. I think it's hard to enforce. And how do you enforce that non-racially?
Ed Yonka of the ACLU of Illinois also criticizes the proposal.
This idea of a snap curfew is really a due process nightmare waiting to happen. It sends a strong signal to people, especially people from certain parts of the city, that they're not welcome downtown. And that's a very chilling thing to think about.
Khan believes citywide investment in youth resources is a better alternative.
I think their own areas need to be developed, and I think that's also the responsibility of the Chicago government at large. Just, go develop those areas, help people over there stay in their own communities so they don't view other communities as places that they can just go to and trash.
Now, this introduction of a snap curfew isn't necessarily unprovoked. Behind me is the local AMC Theater in Streeterville, where these group of teens like to come and hang out. Specifically in March, one of these hangouts resulted in a shooting where a 46-year-old woman passing by with her young son got shot in the arm. Now, luckily, these injuries were not lethal, but it was the event that was the catalyst for this ordinance. As the debate continues, the city grapples with balancing public safety and civil liberties. The full city council is expected to revisit the ordinance on the 21st.
Thanks, Abby. As police look to crack down on violence in Chicago, a fashion initiative that pays homage to prison culture has taken root. Our Annalise Cornejo Garcia has more on this story.
Riley, I spoke with an inmate who called in from Colorado. He says prison fashion like this bandana represents culture, just like any other form of art. And for him, it's more than that. It's a way to find freedom behind bars.
We use art as an expression.
That's the voice of Manuel Jerez. He's calling from inside Centennial Prison, a Colorado correctional facility.
I've done so many years of segregation due to my actions. So when I was in that state of mind, I had lost hope.
But he says instead of trying to find hope again, he started drawing it.
It's like life-changing almost. When you're in a place like that, it's hard to feel like, like you have a purpose, and he's found his purpose all right in every way.
Manuel's work was featured in Hidden Influence Saturday, a fashion show hosted by Southside Dreams and Artwave Media. There, attendees could support people who are incarcerated by buying their art and clothing.
It's something also Latino culture that we are very common with. People who are in incarceration and how the style of Chicano artwork is considered a jail style of artwork.
Organizers say outfits and props modeled on the runway pay homage to prison culture, which is influenced by the Chicano and Latino communities, two of the most commonly incarcerated ethnicities in the U.S.
I did myself 15 years. So I said, when I get out, I'm gonna put on art, so we talk about our story, and we're gonna hopefully we get people to understand who we are.
For now, events like these ensure the artistic influence of Manuel and many others remain anything but hidden.
We're trying to create a platform through art to give people a reason to not be physical in a bad way, but be creative to express themselves.
As spring flowers began to pop up, so has a new farmers market in Logan Square. Our Anthony Lowe brings us this report.
The arrival of the outdoor season in Chicago brought with it the highly awaited return of a beloved community tradition. The Logan Square Farmers Market officially kicked off its outdoor season, transformed the neighborhood into a vibrant hub of local produce, handcrafted goods, and community spirit.
Well, everyone knows that the second Sunday in May, Logan Square is the place to be. The Logan Square Farmers Market has been opening on Mother's Day weekend for the last 18 years, so it's very, very special. People know what to expect. This market is so well received that there's no stress about it. The only thing we ever stress about is when the season's about to end, we miss it. We feel like we haven't even left. It feels like we were just here yesterday, even though we had a 5-month break.
The Logan Square Farmers Market offers more than just produce and unique finds. It has become a place where people connect and strengthen community bonds.
There's so many different walks of life and people from all different backgrounds, and I think it's kind of amazing that all these different types of people come together for their common interest in like a cinnamon roll or wanting to support our business, or they're like, we've seen you here like the last few summers, so we want to come back.
It's great. The people look so happy. I love to see people connecting with local makers and farmers and just celebrating community that way.
Today, I love the community. It's like the community of people all together, sharing food. It's like we're all sitting at one big dinner table.
The vibrant energy of the market continued throughout the afternoon.
Thanks, Anthony. Next, our Katie Lacovara takes us to Dunning, where new initiatives help breathe life back into Italian businesses in the area. Katie, how is the area planning on growing?
Thanks, Riley. With the help of the City of Chicago, the Harlem Avenue Little Italy Business Association plans to build the 2-mile corridor into an enclave of Italian businesses and culture.
On Harlem Avenue, in the northwest neighborhood of Dunning, is a thriving Italian-American community.
We have a lot of large Italian businesses that all started here on Harlem Avenue, and so we're looking to build off that and
try to attract more Italian businesses to open up in the neighborhood and rejuvenate our Italian community here.
I started on Harlem Avenue. That was the hub of the Italian community for all this time, and we're trying to bring it up again.
Last spring, the city of Chicago passed the Harlem Avenue Visioning Study to help strengthen the Italian business community.
Over the last couple of years, we started working with the City of Chicago Department of Planning and Development to put together a community plan. We've been designated as an Italian corridor. The Joint Civic Committee of Italian Americans just opened up their office here, and we currently have 2 leases signed.
In addition to new businesses, the Italian American Sports Hall of Fame is planning to open its doors next October during the Italian American Heritage Month.
We decided to find another place. Harlem Avenue is definitely an area that is just sprouting up, coming back as a Little Italy enclave.
The Harlem Avenue Business Association is hopeful that the museum and the investment from the city will help support the vibrant business corridor.
We are going to have brand identification up and down Harlem Avenue. We also have access to new business grants and other city resources in order to help build our Italian business community. A couple of years from now, you're going to realize that you are in the heart of an Italian community.
From Harlem Avenue, Katie Lacavara, Chicago This Week.
Hello and welcome to Chicago This Week Sports. It was an active week for Chicago, from the Chicago Half Marathon to the infamous Crosstown Classic. Our Avery Feldman was at the finish line of the Chicago Half Marathon and spoke to the winner. Avery, what can you tell us about the 13.1-mile race?
Runners came for the Lifetime Foundation, raising money for healthy people, a healthy planet, and a healthy way of life.
Jay Thompson, Santa Cruz, California.
This is Jay Thompson, who wasn't planning on racing this weekend, but earned the first place title of the Chicago Spring Half Marathon.
I'm training for a half that's in 2 weeks in California, so I just used this as sort of a workout.
Thompson ran at a 5:28 pace, finishing in 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 41 seconds.
Probably go cool down for a couple miles as soon as my wife crosses the finish line. Then I'll probably have a beer after that.
Thompson and his wife were among thousands of runners who participated in the half marathon and 10K over the weekend. Matt Byrne has been running for 8 years.
I absolutely love running, and this is my first actual race. So today was like kind of a special day.
The race celebrates the beginning of spring.
We have athletes coming in from 48 states and 33 countries, so really all around the world.
The Lifetime Foundation supports children's health through movement and nutrition programs.
We have about 40 athletes who are racing on behalf of the Lifetime Foundation.
The foundation has donated $7.5 million and impacted 500 school districts, 11,000 schools, and 6.3 million students. The event even held a junior dash for kids. Runner Oliver Mirando raced
to get a medal.
This is Avery Feldman for Chicago This Week.
Thanks, Avery. The runners of the Chicago Half Marathon weren't the only ones trying to achieve their personal best. Our Izzy Begley sat down with a high school cross-country star looking to defend her title. Izzy, what can you tell us about her?
Mia Soroy is ranked first in the state and 19th in the country. This weekend, she looks to reclaim that state title.
This past fall, Mia Soroy was crowned Illinois Gatorade Player of the Year in cross country. Now she's chasing gold on the track.
Looking on to state, I'd love to bring home as many medals as I can and just help my team to do the best that we possibly can do.
On May 14th, Mia took the regional title in the 2-mile, and now she's eyeing back-to-back state championships this weekend.
One of her goals will be to defend her title in the 2-mile.
Her talent is elite, but Mia's mindset sets her apart.
She is probably the most humble kid that you will ever meet.
I just want to continue to stay healthy and have longevity in the sport. I don't want to peak in high school. I want to be able to run collegiate and maybe beyond then. Just continuing to have fun with it, continue to love the sport, and encourage my teammates and work hard.
Helping fuel that dream, a new electrolyte brand, launched by her mom and tested on Mia.
My husband's a primary care doctor, and he was like,
what if we actually put something in your guys' water bottle that was actually good for you?
But it's not just about wins. Mia's already inspiring the next generation.
Seeing Mia as a role model, you know, and just watching her develop as a runner, and then what can she pass on to the next generation or even those coming right behind her?
And there's no telling what that girl's going to do when she gets to college and beyond. I really think she's capable of going far in this sport.
Just really excited to see what I'll be able to accomplish.
Thanks, Izzy. Last week was the infamous Crosstown Classic between the Chicago Cubs and White Sox. The Cubs swept the series, and our Jake Mazarski spoke with fans and learned more about the inter-city rivalry. Jake, tell us about the history of the iconic series.
Thanks, Anthony. Well, while their stadiums are only 30 minutes away, the rivalry between the Cubs and White Sox has always been fierce. The Cubs are the team from the north side, while the White Sox the team from the south. Bill Murray and Vince Vaughn are Cubs fans, while Barack Obama and Pope Leo XIV are Sox fans. The Cubs won their last World Series in 2016, breaking a 108-year drought. While the Sox last won in 2005, some fans feel disrespected by the national media, labeling them Chicago's second team. All of that led into last weekend. The intercity rivalry was on full display during the Crosstown Classic Series, and fans showed just how passionate they are.
The Cub and the White Sox rooters break along social and economic and geographic lines. Fierce, passionate, desperate.
White Sox. One city, two baseball teams. The Cubs and White Sox met at Wrigley Field for this year's edition of the Crosstown Classic, and fans did not mince words about each other.
Go Cubs, boy, y'all Cubs.
Go White Sox.
Listen, you know what I mean? Still love you though, bro. Yeah. We don't love them though. We don't love them.
The Sox don't got nothing on the Cubs. The Cubs are World Series contenders. Like, come on.
White Sox fans are baseball fans. Cub fans are Cubby fans. They don't know shit about baseball.
This is a rivalry rooted in years and years of history.
There is definitely a social and economic and also a racial impact and a racial difference between the south side and the north side, and the way that those dynamics play into things in the city that have nothing to do with baseball but might play into how we have an identity as baseball fans. Chicago has its hands in the founding of the National League and the founding of the American League. That's how far back we go, and that's how long we've been rooting for baseball.
Fans showed how passionate they were about their teams.
We're the Cubs, man. We're the last one to have won the series. And plus, the north side, the friendly confines of Wrigley.
I love this city. I love Wrigleyville. We're here, it's home.
After the 162 season, we go through the good and the bad. But no matter what, White Sox fans show up.
W's all the time. What do you see when we win? We're going to get some things fixed for July. We'll see y'all there.
Thanks, Jake. In more baseball news, the University of Chicago made history this season, becoming the first team in program history to earn a bid to the NCAA tournament. Our Blake McQuarrie was able to attend a practice with Maroons and learn just how special this team is. Blake, what can you tell us about them?
Chicago did fall in the NCAA tournament last weekend to UW Oshkosh in a 3-game series, but no matter the outcome, their season was nothing short of historic.
Coming out.
The Maroons not only clinched their first ever NCAA bid, but they also tied the program record for most regular season wins in a season on their way, proving their worth to compete on the national stage.
It's everything we talked about since day one 4 years ago.
But we knew with the group of guys we had to start this year and how connected we were, that it was going to be something that we haven't done before.
People are bought in who want to work hard. I mean, it's a recipe for success, and we knew we had it. We just had to unlock it, and that was the hard days, the hard hours, and I think we all expected to be here. We're very lucky to be here, but also a lot of work has been put in to be here.
The strength isn't just what they do on the diamond. The bond off the field is just as strong as it is in the dugout.
It's honestly something I've never experienced before. I don't think I've ever gotten this close to a group of guys in my life. You know, we always hang out, we always study together, we always eat together.
And a lot of people on this team live in the same apartments of each other, and these are some of my best friends, if not all of my best friends on this campus.
That's kind of what you get when you get 40 of your best friends on the field and off the field. So a lot of success comes from that.
And winning on the field for this team is just as important as winning in the books. From throwing Ks on the mound to earning As in the classroom, academic accountability has also been a key ingredient.
I have to credit our admissions department because they don't admit a student unless he's just outstanding at everything, and from a character and work ethic and study habits, these guys are the best in the world.
With history already made, this team is forever stamped in the record books.
I think it's one of the coolest things in the world. I mean, you go to a team and you want to cement your legacy. I think it's pretty cool we've done that.
From Hyde Park, I'm Blake McQuarrie, Chicago This Week.
Chicago is saddling up as music royalty rides into town. Beyonce's highly anticipated Cowboy Carter tour came to the Windy City this week, and our Simone Roberts headed to Soldier Field to check it out.
Thanks, Riley. The Beehive is about to take over Soldier Field to see Beyonce's Cowboy Carter Act 2. Now, this tour is more than just her music. It's about the history of the Chitlin Circuit and what that did for black cowboys that came before her. Take a look.
The Beehive strapped on their cowboy boots and was buzzing around Chicago through storms and cold weather to see Beyonce's new tour.
The love from the Beehive because everyone's been walking all day, yesterday, today, in her cowboy hats, just getting shouted out in the street.
Cowboy Carter makes history for the star, being her first album to win Album of the Year.
Even changed the lyric to like, girl, you won Album of the Year. Like, you did it!
Just like fans are embracing the artist's new country album, they are trading their Renaissance chrome for cowboy chic. Now there was merch trucks carrying shirts just like this one around the entire stadium. And while fashion is a big part of this tour, for a lot of fans, it was about the history that led her to where she is now.
What he's doing is, I think it's game changing. A lot of artists are now thinking about their art in history and their art in relation to other people and their art in relation to society.
The tour follows a historic route that paves the way for artists like her, the Chitlin Circuit, a network of venues black artists could perform at during the Jim Crow era.
As someone who loves music history, it really feels like a walk through music history, and there's so much so many presents for knowing the history of the song or what she's doing.
The star included both her daughters in what could be the second album in a trilogy of albums reclaiming black music. Beyonce continues building her legacy through her music, saying this was not just a country album, but a Beyonce album. As they say, you can't take the country out of the girl.
Now Chicago is only one of the first stops on this Cowboy Carter tour before she hits cities like New York, Atlanta, and her hometown of Houston. And she's going to mimic the exact Chitlin Circuit before going overseas to Paris and London for her international fans. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Simone. Next, a UK-based chocolate shop comes to Chicago. Our Amanda Perkowski headed to their new locations to learn more about their super sweet chocolate technology.
Chicago just got a bit sweeter with the UK-based company Hotel Chocolat opening 2 locations in Chicago. One store's in Lakeview and another's in Lincoln Park.
Chicago has such an amazing food scene, and each neighborhood is so unique too, whether it be the food, whether it be the community. So I think that was a natural pull for Chicago to be the start of our US expansion.
Chocolate connoisseurs appreciate the European qualities of the chocolate.
I sample a lot of chocolate from a lot of different places, so I know what the best samples are for my lectures. They have the European flavor and the consistency. They don't add extra things. They're very particular about how smooth it is and how high quality it is. And Hotel Chocolat is totally all about that.
I mean, our mantra in the store is more cacao, less sugar. Any store you go into, whether it's in the UK, whether it's in Chicago, you'll see a big neon sign that says more cacao, less sugar.
Beyond written signage, they offer a practical display of their offerings called the Wall of Chocolate.
I really liked how the chocolates are all really kind of unique. It made me think of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
It's probably as good as it sounds to work at a chocolate place, and just seeing people like the oohs and ahs and just them being really excited about all the different kinds of stuff they're trying.
More than just pieces of chocolate, customers can enjoy ice cream and coffee.
Compared to the other ice cream I've had, this is top notch. The chocolate is really flavorful.
We love the coffees. I had to come back and get the flat white because I loved it so much last week when we tried it.
The Chicago locations also offer a new feature that's not yet available in UK stores, a chocolate tap.
If you want to just come in and literally get a chocolate shot, you can do that as well. We'll fill up a to-go cup for you with a chocolate shot, and you can use it however you want. Drink it, dip something in it, however you want.
Thanks, Amanda, and thanks everyone for tuning in to another episode of Chicago This Week.
We'll be back next week with more.